Today I'll be showing you how to replace the drive shaft on a 04 Saber 600 LX. So the first thing you want to do is remove your exhaust. And I've already done the process, but there wasn't enough information online, so I would like to share some information on how to do this with this particular sled. Most of Arcticat's designs are the same, so this same video will apply to other sleds as well. You're going to remove your exhaust system that comes off and your exhaust can. You're going to want to remove the 3 springs off that and the 2 springs on each side of the can first. Then once you have the can loose, you're going to want to remove the spring down there, which I didn't have the proper tools for this, so for that I used vice grips, and for this I couldn't get in there, so I bent a coat hanger in there and I was able to get down in there and hook it up. So then once you have your exhaust can out of there, you're going to move to the battery box assembly, which has 2 carriage bolts here and 2 carriage bolts on the other side of the battery box. Then you're going to have a bolt here and a bolt here that hold on the frame for the battery box, and I'll show you that in a second. That's when you have that, the battery box is going to be a little loose in here. So then you're going to disconnect all of your wires to your solenoid and that. I'll show you the battery box. So this connects to the vent of the sled, and these connect to the frame, and this is what connects to the chain case of the sled. Then you're going to want to move to the chain case of the snowmobile. Once you have all of this out of here, and it looks semi like this, there's going to be 6 bolts that hold on the chain case, and 6 bolts that hold on the chain case, and 1 middle bolt. Once you get that stuff off, it's going to expose. Actually, wait, before you do that, you have to drain the fluid out of your chain case. Most people just open it up and the fluid goes over the belly pan and makes a mess, and then it's this hard. There is a drain bolt located on the snowmobile, which is located right underneath where the shaft comes out, right here. So it's right underneath there. Sizes on these can be found online too. I don't remember the exact sizes. So then once you get your chain case open, when the fluid is out, you're going to want to remove your chain, and here's the automatic tensioner. You're going to remove all of your sprockets in there until you get to a your shaft's going to be sticking out, and you have a 3 bolts, 3 nuts that come out of there. You're going to loosen those because it's a retainer plate, and there's a retainer plate in the tunnel that sits on those 3 nuts. So once you get those out of there, you're going to need a puller, a bearing puller, to take off that retainer plate and the bearing that's in here. You got to pull that off too. So once you get that off, you're going to want to move over to the other side of the snowmobile and take off the secondary clutch of the snowmobile. So you're going to want to move the belt to the left of the snowmobile until it pops off. You're going to stick a screwdriver in the rotor of the sled, or have someone hold on the brake. And while that's happening, you're going to be able to turn the nut off the sled, and your clutch is going to slide off the shaft. You might have to push on that a little bit to squeeze it out of the cowl, because the cowl is a pain in the butt to take off because there's rivets and everything, and it's just easier to do it this way. Then once you have that off, that's going to allow room to get to your shaft, the other side of the shaft. There's going to be 3 nuts that you take off that, and then this piece will come off with some forcing. Don't pull on the wire, because that's your Speedo assembly, and you'll damage that, and then you won't have a Speedo. So you're going to want to force it from underneath. I kicked it and worked with it, and it eventually popped this cover off. This cover just sits here. And then once you're going to have that, you're going to move to removing the skid of the snowmobile, and you're going to take the 4 skid bolts on each side of the snowmobile. So once you take those 4 skid bolts out, your skid's going to be up. So then you can take the sled and lift it up. And I lifted it up on a pallet to do this, so that the skid's going to stay down, but the rest of the sled's going to go up. So that's going to allow room to move your skid out of the way. So once you have no bearings in there, you have a bare shaft, bare retainer plates, your skid's ready to come out. So you want to move it to one side of the snowmobile and pull the shaft from you're going to want to pull the shaft from the left to the right into the chain case and then down. And if it doesn't come out, you're going to need to take out your whole skid track assembly, which I pulled the skid out out from the track, separated it, pulled the skid out, and then the track just came out with it with the shaft. So it's quite the challenge, but you don't have to have a lot of mechanical ability with it, just tools and some online help. And then once I did that, I had to replace my bogey wheels and track. So now you're gonna have the snowmobile like that. So yeah.